Welcome guys. Welcome to Daily Crypto Trading. Today we're going to talk about the price of Bitcoin or the TA of Bitcoin. But before we do that, guys, remember I always give $500 worth of Bitcoin randomly away. The only thing you have to do to join this kind of giveaway is to subscribe to the channel, like the content, and comment your Bitcoin address. Let's look at the TA of Bitcoin. Before we start with the TA of Bitcoin, guys, there's one thing more. This was highly requested from you guys. That was a Telegram group. So yeah, I finally made a Telegram group. So far we had 2 members, but it will increase in members in time. The link is down below, guys, so you're welcome to join this Telegram group. It will be TA wise and talk about crypto and so on and so on and so on. So yeah, guys, just join. It's for free. See you in the Telegram group. But guys, before we look at the TA of Bitcoin, we need to look at this article. This article shows that in China, they have a real estate crisis. If you have not read about this, read about Evergrande, which is developing. I don't want to spread any thought, anything like that, but this can affect the traditional market, and the traditional market will affect crypto market, and Bitcoin as we know it is highly correlated with the traditional market. However, guys, China can decide to help this Evergrande, this company out, and pretty much just give them a loan or something like that. We do not know that if China is saying, we can't give a loan to bail this company out, and that again, it will affect the global market. That is not good for Bitcoin. If we jump over the traditional market, which is heavily correlated with Bitcoin, we can see that S&P 500 index is like in a huge rising wedge. And guys, let me just show you yet again, if I can find it right over here. What does a rising wedge mean? That is a bearish rising wedge right there, textbook. This is a huge rising wedge, right? And if we just zoom in, we can see because of this Evergrande, I don't want to say fraud, but this Evergrande article and the things which is happening in China, yeah, this pretty much affected the traditional market. People were panicked and they sold out. If we look at let me just see the Dow, same thing. And remember, guys, in traditional market, when there's around 20% downfall, that is a bear market for traditional market. I know 20% downfall is not a lot in crypto, but in traditional market it is. So that is the definition of a bear market for the traditional market, and this will heavily have an effect on the Bitcoin price. And if we jump into the US dollar currency index, we see that it have been in this rising wedge also since May, and it just been going up. However, rising wedge is, like you guys know, a bearish pattern, and it did fall down below this support line. It is at the moment right at the, this is amazing, guys, right at the support, which is the resistance now. So if this get rejected, that would mean it will fall down. Usually, well, historically, this is a bullish thing for Bitcoin, because when the US dollar falls in value, Bitcoin usually historically again increase in value. So this can be a bullish thing for Bitcoin. So if we look at the TF Bitcoin, guys, as you guys remember, if you've been following my channel, I have made one kind of video that was a bearish video, a correction video, I will say. So a lot of people didn't like that kind of TA, but that was the reality. You guys can check it on my channel. I explained what will happen, and boom, it did happen. 20% correction right there. It was more manipulation than correction, but it did happen. I did talk about this a month ago, right before this even happened. I have it in my trading view. You guys can check it for yourself. I had my videos and so on. If you're new to the channel, check the videos out. You will see what I mean. So let me remind you guys, this is only short-term trading I'm talking about, to being a bear, because in the long haul, I am very bullish. I've been this for 5 years. However, I will not again ignore this pattern. Like I said last time, look at this pattern. Or I'm going to give you a different scenario what could happen and what the probability is, in my opinion, because at the moment we are in a danger zone for Bitcoin. So if we look at the first thing, we see this big correction, which I made a video about before it happened. So yeah, you're welcome. Just kidding. But yeah, and then we had this descending triangle, which is usually actually bearish, to be honest. It, however, did go, I said clearly there's a 30% probability it will go this upside, and it did. However, this is just manipulating at the moment. People are manipulating the price of Bitcoin, because look at the volume. There's no goddamn volume right now. It's just decreasing, decreasing, decreasing. Look, the same thing happened here. It was going up, but the volume was decreasing, and suddenly we saw a big spike of volume, sell volume right there. The same thing is happening in my opinion, and we are also, let me show you, in a rising wedge, guys. Bearish rising wedge, as you guys see. So if you look at the elite theory, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we will crash. At the moment, already while I'm making this video, it did went below the support area and it did retest it. However, there's still 3 hours 25 minutes left before this candle closes, so it can still go up, right? But again, be cautious about this area, guys. We are in the RSI, we have a bearish divergence in the forward charts. All right, guys. So worst case scenario, what in my opinion might happen, right, is that this candle goes above this, and actually more than that, it actually break through the resistance right here, right, and then just go like this, zigzag theory, elite theory, like zigzag like this, till we hit some kind of resistance, which is right around this area, 52,000, almost 53,000 US dollar. All right. In this area, this is the same area where you will see YouTubers getting overly bullish. You will see in different Facebook groups and different groups that people are saying they're going to the moon. This is also the area where, let me just show you, there will be a fake kind of pump, because the institution will never ever buy this high area. I mean, that's just stupid to believe that. So yeah, this is the area where people would get overly surprising and say, oh, it break through, this is getting invalidated, and so on, and people will just FOMO. This will be a FOMO zigzag pattern pretty much right over here, so they get rejected over here, and then they will form a head and shoulder pattern. Let me just show you guys. So they will form a bearish head and shoulder pattern right here, and people don't understand, and they will just say, oh, we will just go sideways, right? Then they will just fall down and crush right here, and every people who was long will get wrecked. All right. Last time I again warned about this, and people got wrecked. Whoever was long got wrecked right here. So yeah, in my opinion, this is also right here, there's a resistance, as you guys can see the red. I don't see if let's just make it more clear. Resistance. So yeah, there's a bit of resistance right there. So if break through this, hold it as a support, people will get overly bullish. So be careful and cautious. Also look at the sentiment, guys. Just look what people are in their feelings, in their emotion. If people are like, we're going to get rich, this is going only to the upside and so on, yeah, it might be the time to say, all right, I might sell now and wait for a pullback, right? So in my opinion, we need to be very cautious. There is a probability, not that high probability, but 45% this scenario might happen, and if this happens, that will be very bad for all coins too, right? So it will just crush down. The second scenario, which is more realistic, is this, that it will go like an elite theory, you know, the diagonal thing, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, try to retest it and then just fall down, right? This is more realistic to be honest. There is a higher probability for that. Then you just go to upside or do this, what I talked about, do this. So this thing is more realistic. It can also just go, you know, hitting the support resist, getting smaller to it get explosive to the downside or upside. Again, there's a higher probability for downside. But in my opinion, the market is heavily manipulated. And the reason I'm saying that this space is so heavily manipulated is because 80% at the moment are retail sellers and 20% are from the institutions, right? That's the institution sales which is in the space. However, if we are talking money flow, 90% is the institutions' money flow and 10% are from the retail sellers. That's insane. If you think about, just use 1 minute and think that 90% of the money you see in crypto at the moment is not in people's hands. That is in the big institutions at the moment. That is why we are seeing these kind of big spikes. This is why some of the TA you guys see where it can be bullish TA is just invalidated, because people like a Joe in an institution say, you know what, for my client, let me just sell this, let me just buy this. They're looking at the buyers, they look at people who are long, who are short and leverage trading, and they're just going to liquidate them. So that's why I'm saying this market is heavily manipulated, and TA is a great tool to see it. you know, so you guys can see that just blindly following. Also guys, something fast which I will show you, which will most likely blow your mind, I hope so, is if you zoom out to the daily chart and make a trend line where the bull run began all the way here, right? Because as you guys can see, it's been used as a support. This trend has been a great strong support right over to mid-May where it ran through, and you guys see it actually tried to test it and get rejected and just fell through right there and made a reversal for the for the bears instead. So if you want to stay bullish, we need to do something else. Let's take the forward chart instead. Do auto. We need to do something else. We need, instead of this getting rejected right over here, is the heavy resistance, is that it goes above this trend line, which was a great support for the bull run, right? And use it as a support again. Because if we do that, guys, I will be the first one showing the live trade to make a big order and a long order in it, because then I am bullish as hell. Because if we zoom out and do daily again, we can see right over here there's a heavy resistance, guys. I mean, from 54, 53 all the way to 60,000, there's a heavy resistance. We need to go above this resistance, and lo and behold, look at the line, is showing the same thing. The VPRVR is showing the same thing. A lot of indicators are showing the same thing. We need to go above this trend line, because if we do, all of this TA I have made is invalidated, which I of course hope, because then I earn a lot more money. So yeah, keep an eye on this trend line. We need to go above this before we see the continuation of a bull run. In my opinion, if we get rejected at this area, that will be ugly, because then we'll see a downfall to 42,000, and after 42,000, as you guys can see, 42,000 to 40,000 and to 30,000, there's a great support. But then we will slowly and steady just go down, and once we at below the $30,000, that will be heavy, because then there will be blood on the street. The only resistance that will be is at $23,000 and $90,000, guys. I know people hate when I say these kind of. There went my phone. Hope it didn't break. I know. Well, yeah, we need a bull market so I can buy a new phone. Anyway, I know a lot of people hate when I say this, but there's a high probability that this can happen. So be aware of this trend line, be aware of this resistance, because if we get rejected and you have a lot of money in altcoins, I will suggest to look at it, because you might get wrecked. So this is not financial advice, just telling you I will pretty much sell out if this gets rejected, because I don't want to lose my investment because I'm blindly following the FOMO people. So yeah, guys, just keep an eye on this. So yeah, guys, it's in the short term, it's not looking that good either. There's a different scenario which I showed you. So there's a high probability for downfall, guys. Be aware of that. Anyway, guys, if you like my content, subscribe to the channel, like the content, and comment anything you like. Thank you for watching, and good luck trading, guys.